Today we're going to chat about Newmarket. Like my previous market update videos, we're going to have a look at what happened in the most current month we have for the Toronto Real Estate Board stats, which is October. We'll compare that with what happened a year ago in October 2020. And then to give you a little bit of contrast, we'll have a look at September 2021 as well. So if we're talking about numbers, the amount of listings that came to market, represented by the N, which stands for new listings, a year ago in Newmarket was 247. The sales through the month, represented by the S, was 196, and that is across all home types. So that is condos, semis, towns, links, detached, everything. And the active listings essentially are what didn't sell and that carry over into the next month. And that was at 173 in October 2020. Now, if we move to September 21, 172 new listings came to market, 115 sales, 94 active listings continued into October. Now, this is something that we've been definitely seeing throughout the year, which is less listings coming to market. The sales have been strong, but certainly not on par with what they were a year ago. And then the carryover listings, which has really been that contraction in the inventory, we haven't been seeing the number of listings hanging around the market. So because there hasn't been the amount of listings coming on the market. So if we have a look at October, so we had 164 new listings. We had a major increase in Newmarket in the number of sales, 158 sales, 71 active listings. Now, in a perfect world, the math, I know what you're probably thinking, new listings minus sales should equal active listings. Doesn't always work out like that because there's cancellations and relists and things like that. So 71 listings. So again, pretty stark contraction from the month before, and certainly from the year before. I mean, we're off, the trend is off 100, right? Now, if we're talking about the money, average sale price across all home types a year ago in Newmarket was $915,000. That increased in September 2021 to $1,138,000. Currently trending at $1,194,000 in Newmarket across all home types. The SNLR, one of my favorite stats if you watch my videos, stands for sales to new listings ratio. It's also known as the absorption rate. It tells us out of the listings coming on the market, what is the percentage of them that are actually selling. And again, bear in mind, this is across all home types. So you might find in the stat that, detached would be 80 and condos would be 120, for instance. So I mean, you're looking at average numbers here. I just wanted to point that out. So 79.4% of the listings that came on the market in October 2020 sold. September 21, 66.9. Now, if you did watch my video last month, totally normal, because typically what we see in September is it does start off a little bit slow as the kids are getting back to school. This year it was also parents getting back to work and going back to the office. So not abnormal to see the absorption rate decrease a little bit and also the inventory level come up. But what we're seeing now is the market's contracting again in terms of the amount of listings coming on the market. Sales have increased. So what we're seeing now is, 96.3%. So you're basically talking, 3.6, 3.4% of the houses that came on the market didn't sell. So very, very aggressive market, very seller biased. And if we're talking about what is a seller's market, what is a buyer's market, so typically anything under 50% in the absorption rate would be considered a buyer's market. Between 50 and 60 is what's considered a balanced market, so there's enough supply to meet the demand. And then when we start getting over 60%, absolutely 96%, you would be indicative of a seller market. Months of inventory remaining, also a great gauge of the market, tells us that if no other inventory came on the market after today at the current rate of buying or the current rate of consumption, how long would it take to deplete the inventory? So a year ago, 0.9, so not even a month of inventory, 0.8 in September, and this has been slashed in half. So again, a further constriction in October 2021. So again, we're seeing very aggressive upswing in the amount of units sold, and the number of houses that came on the market decreased slightly. So I would also suggest here too that what we're seeing in this buying trend with less homes coming on the market, a lot of these homes that have been purchased here have been grabbed up from this active listing inventory. And we do see this where buyers will circle back to inventory that's been hanging around for 30 days, 60 days. Sale price to list price ratio, 100.5% of asking a year ago, 108.6% in September, currently trending at 111.1. So this is telling me that the buyers that have been purchasing homes have been competing hard for them. I mean, there has been a natural trend. I call it a natural trend. Of course, it's a decision that you make, but there has been a trend towards this year, let's say, of homes being underpriced to the actual market value to cultivate those multiple offers. So, of course, this number is always going to be a little bit overstated, if you will, because I mean, if the home was put out at the price that it was intended to sell at initially, you wouldn't see this big gap here, right? Days on market to get a home sold, 15 in a year ago, 9 in September, currently trending at 8. And so again, with this days on the market contracting again, this would indicate to me typically what we're seeing is more buying has been happening in the new listings. If this number was starting to increase and we were seeing the same numbers up here, typically what that would show us is that the buyers are going back to that older inventory. So that feeds into the numbers. So I hope you found this information helpful. Any questions at all about the Newmarket stats or how that would pertain to your particular or specific home type, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll see you next time.